Hi everyone, and my name is Matt, and welcome to Starflight Creations, my FlossTube channel here. Today I'm going to talk about my August game that will be starting this Saturday. I did talk about this in my last FlossTube, but I was told that I made like a bunch of assumptions that like people had been watching other Stitchy games or whatnot, so I kind of want to just put out another video, talk about the whole thing and just the game, and hopefully make it very clear for everybody. If there is anything that you are still not sure of, questioning, feel free to leave me a comment below. So, first of all, I'm going to explain why I decided to do this. A lot of the other games I saw going around, Jessie Marie's Big Brother stitching, a bunch of the World Cup stitching that people did, the Gridiron game that people does, all seemed really fun. But either when those things happened, I didn't have the time, or they involved things that, for me, I would have felt like I would have had to go and watch them, and I didn't have the desire to go and watch them for themselves. I just had the desire to do it for the stitching. So I was trying to decide how I could take this and make it my own, because that's what you do as a stitcher, is you find something and then you make it your own, either by changing the pattern or the floss or the fabric. So I decided that what I could do was base it off of something that would mean something to me. So I thought about reading or a couple of other different options I was thinking of, but then I noticed that August was coming up, and August is when I started my FlossTube last year. So this year will be my 1 year anniversary with FlossTube. So that made me really want to do something with that. And the reason I started FlossTube was for the community to kind of get involved with others, since where I am, I don't have a lot of other people who cross stitch around me. So it was kind of fun to feel part of the community, rather than just watching other people's floss tubes. And I was in a couple of other Stitchy Zooms, and a bunch of people were really kind of supportive and encouraging me to jump out there. So I kind of wanted to bring that back in and focus it more on the community. So I decided to do something where it will involve my projects, but the community will get a chance to sponsor them. So to explain it, I think the best thing is if everybody just decides that we are not going to comment on my horrible drawing skills. So I am going to create a bracket like this. And so to start with, we will have 16 slots. So those slots will be chosen by a member of the community deciding to sponsor one of my projects. To provide an example, my friend Debbie has chosen to sponsor Living Room Set Number 2 by Alina Lartsova. So this will be the project that she has been sponsoring. So all 16 projects, once they are chosen, will get into a slot, and I will put in 100 stitches into each of those 16 projects during the first week. And so what is required of the community other than choosing the project to sponsor? On August 1st, the 16 people will send me a stitch count that they have put in onto a project that day. And this is all just going to have to be word of honor. I can't make anybody I'm not going to watch anybody to figure out whether or not they're actually submitting it, but they'll just say, so Debbie will send me a message either through YouTube or Instagram or Discord and tell me, hey, I put in 50 stitches on one of my projects today. So I will mark down Debbie for 50 stitches. And then I will put all 16 projects into a jar and draw them out. And so then each of these 16 projects will randomly be paired up on the brackets. Then say Debbie goes against me, which I will only be there if I can't get the full 16 people. If I am there, I will do I will stitch for Bottle That Shit Up by the Witchy Stitcher, which I'm doing for my friend Natasha. If not, then I will just be doing that on my own. But so say me and Debbie get matched up. It'll be her 50 stitches, say, versus my 25 stitches. Well, then Debbie will advance to the next round. So and then the next round, there will be 8 projects that make it to that round. And those 8 projects will get 200 stitches. And then on August 8th, those 8 people will send me, again, a amount of stitches that they put into a project on that day. And we'll see who makes it to the next round. The top 3 people, or whose projects make it to the top 3, will receive a Padfolio. And of course, I meant to pull one of those out. Give me just 1 second. So you'll have to excuse, this is one of my earlier attempts. This is a Padfolio. So you open it up, and it has bobbin holders, and then it has spots where you can stash paper pens if you have it, and your actual work if it's either on a small Q-snapper hoop or if you've taken it off. And so it can hold a whole little project nicely together. So I have got fabric to make 3 different ones of those. And then the first place winner will receive a Padfolio and a project bag. So as each round goes up, I'm going to try, well, for the first 2 weeks it will be 1,600 stitches. So for the first week it will be 100 into each project. The second week it will be 200 into each project. I think in the 3rd and 4th weeks I might just let it go to 300 into next projects, and the amount of stitches total will go down. I do know the end of August I am going to be doing the Fellowship of the Floss virtual retreat, so I kind of want to leave myself a little bit of extra time if I'm stitching on one of those projects. I might just be working on these, in which case I will bump it back up to just kind of keep that 1,600 going on. But I am kind of giving myself that. But this way, it's kind of community driven because the community chooses which of my 20 projects get put into this, and their work will determine which projects really gets a lot of stitches in on it, and I just really feel like it'll be a lot of fun to move forward. I just ask that if you choose to sponsor a project, that you give me a name. It doesn't have to be, your name. It could be, just to throw something out there. My friend Debbie, she could just be Naughty Witch, in which case just give me that so I can throw in there. It doesn't have to have a YouTube or a Flosstube or an Instagram. But if you do have one of those, please let me know, and I will link it each time I go to talk about this. We'll be trying to release weekly videos to just let people know which projects have advanced and show the work I put in on all these projects that people have chosen. And I just kind of want to be able to put out a name that I can say to the Flosstube to say who's working on this. But yeah, so all that is required is choosing the project, and then committing to, at least on August 1st, telling me the amount of stitches that you put into one of your projects. I really appreciate anybody who helps me out on this. I just think it'd be a lot of fun to kind of gear this towards the community, and just kind of as a thank you for all of the fellowship that I received for this last year, and just, a fun way to get some more stitches on some of these projects for me. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Just that way, if I know that my Wit Parade, which is the last thing that I'd released, was kind of long. So just really fast, I'm going to run through what the final of a lot of the projects are going to show up. Just in case you don't want to watch the whole Wit Parade, or just don't have an hour. So up for grabs are Animal Crossing Sal, Chase Max Color, Magic Book, Steampunk Portal, Dragon's Lair, Hogwarts, Nostalgic Tarot Frame, Penance, Acorns and Friends, Year of the Dragon, Museum After Midnight, Colorful Jungle Stroll, Happiness, The Summoner, Ears for Elephant, The Reader, oops, that's upside down, Tiger with Butterfly, and the only other one is Debbie's Wedding, which is a self-charted piece that I'm doing for my friend's wedding, so I don't have really a fancy picture of what it's going to look like. So those are the options. So again, if you would like to join me on this fun little game for August, feel free to drop one of those projects and a name I can use for the floss tube into the comments either here or on my post on Instagram, and then I will reach out on August 1st if I don't hear from you to get the stitch count. Thank you all in advance, and I really hope to have fun sharing this game and the community with you all. Thanks.